Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? So what you're looking at is just a couple clips from this morning Zoom call that I did. Live market. You can see the timestamp down in the bottom right. We're taking a look at indices this morning, potentially the setup for buys, as well as potential setup for sells. So I just kind of wanted to give you like a quick little glimpse on how we were looking at the live market, how we traded it, and then at the end, I'll kind of walk you through how I managed it. So and this video is going to be a little longer just because we're kind of going through a couple more clips.
Where are we here? Yeah, U30's in the area. U30's in the area where I see a potential push up, but I just don't see evidence of buying yet. Like I think it's honestly just profit taken.
All right, so what you're seeing me do now, and I just muted the audio because it's a bunch of us just talking back and forth. I'm actually back testing the pre-market move just to see if I do have evidence of buyers actually coming into this market, which is going to give me the pretty much the definitive answer whether or not I'm going to be looking for buys and what my line in the sand is going to be. So that's what I'm doing here, right? I'm in replay mode. I'm just kind of going through and making the determination whether or not, I see that evidence of demand and potentially where I'd be looking for a buy setup if it gave me that, where it presented itself, where I'd be waiting for price to come back into.
All right. So what does she do from here? Let's see. That's 50%. All right, let's see what she's going to do. Hold on. Oh, she breaks it. If this is the break up, then this is where she's going to come back in. Let's see. Let's see. So she does. She comes. Damn. All right. So she breaks there, mitigates accumulation. Does it break? Damn it. I don't think it broke. What are the other ones doing real quick? Yeah, but I think 30 is just manipulating it. That's what I'm going to look to see which one I want to trade. I'll tell you right now, I think like this is the area right here. This is the area that I'm watching. But I want to do a quick rundown on all of them before I decide what I'm going to do. All right, so NASDAQ respected. NASDAQ respected. And then this is the reaccumulation that broke it. So now we see
All right, so kind of what we're doing this morning, right? I'm running through like a risk assessment. I'm looking at all three benchmarks, identifying, our leader, our laggard, also determining, pretty much what I'm going to be doing for risk. How much am I risking? Where am I putting risk on? Obviously, you can hear like the MT5 in the background, me setting some limits. And I'm just kind of going through my check down protocol. Every time I go to do a trade, this is what I'm doing, right? You'll see me bouncing around. I'm not on one chart, on one time frame. I'm bouncing around. I want to get the overall picture. I want to make sure I don't fall into like that tunnel vision, right? I want to make sure I have the overall picture. I want to make sure I know where my structure points, where my order flow points, where my high probability areas of supply and demand are sitting. And then I just want to make sure I have my confirmations before I take the trade. So kind of just giving you a little bit of insight into my thought process. And you can see, these are clipped together from this morning, but it took about an hour and a half for me to work all this through.
Waiting for the reaccumulation to confirm a UJ because it gave a type 2 at the order flow MC. All right, hold on, bro.
And like I said, I'm looking for buys right now, but I'm also preparing myself for what I need to see for shorts, right? So here I talk about if we do confirm redistribution by taking that low, right? What am I going to play? I'm simply going to play out of the opens manipulation, right? We know where we bought, we know where we sold, and I would then, have a break through the ice, created a new low. I have the manipulation, and that's how I would be setting up my redistribution mitigation from the manipulation play. So currently, I'm still looking for the buys, right? And you can see here on U30, this is a very clean type 1 accumulation. We do have the break, and I'm just going to take it off the 80%. But if we do break that line in the sand, I'll be prepared to wait a little bit longer, let price come back to mitigate our manipulation, and then take the trade. All right, and then so you'll see. I mean, limits are set here at this point. We are ready to rock and roll on that 80%. Just waiting for price to tap us in, and it's very easily just going to either hit stop loss or allow us to protect the trade by reducing our risk. So price comes on in, and again, paying attention to how long this takes. We're on a 5-second chart, but this entire schematic took about 30 minutes for us to identify it, wait for the break of structure for it, and then take the entry off of it. So at this point, we're in the 50, and you'll see very quickly we hit the 80%.
All right. If you did manage to get into SPX, I got a crappy entry on it, but I'm in it. I'm in off the 50. I'd be at reduced risk. We shouldn't trade below here. Yeah, we shouldn't trade below there. And U30, I mean, depending on how much you risked, I didn't put a lot into it. So, but it looks like we've accumulated. We shouldn't go below this low right here. come on, annotate. We shouldn't go below this low right here. Like we should just go from here. I mean, I can see it coming back to mitigate and then go. And if it doesn't, it's going to redistribute. And this is the line in the sand. So yeah, I'm at reduced risk here. Hold on. I'm moving mine up. We get one more push up to the upside, and I'm just gonna pay myself out of one order. Yeah, so I'm gonna pay myself out of one order right now. All right. So I mean, she's sitting at a 1 to 10 on it. And now let's see, right? I mean, essentially, if you've paid yourself the risk, she is, you know, she's risk free. Let's see if we can get above today's high. Where did we come into here? Hold on, let's just see. Did we come into here? Is that where we came into? Hold on. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh. That's what I want to see right there. All right, hold on. What's the whole move? Here it is. We came into 80 of that. Isn't that what we did? I think that's what we did. Yeah, on the flipping money, bro. 80% of the reaccumulation is what we came into. On the flipping money. Yeah, she's at a 1 to 17. NASDAQ broke too. So NASDAQ just didn't give an entry. We never confirmed the break. So yeah, but I'm still gonna wait. For me, I'm gonna wait for the break. Yeah, I'm still gonna wait for the break. I mean, I like it. I like the fact that we've accumulated. I like the fact that we're trying to reaccumulate, right? We're trying to reaccumulate, but I'm still gonna, for me to get another entry in, I want to break the high from today. Like I would like to see reaccumulation be the cause. And then when we come back, that's where I'd be looking here or maybe even out of here for that. Yeah. Like I don't want this to get mitigated yet. I'd like for this to go up. All right. So we know we came into demand, right? So demand would be an area where we would expect some kind of pullback, right? And so what do we know? We know that this is the last lower time frame order flow. We can see the accumulation, right? And we can see the mitigation into 80%. And just, what are we seeing? We're seeing just evidence of reaccumulation after reaccumulation. Well, once we break this high right there, right? Once we broke that high, that's where now, okay, if I'm going to look for a very high risk buy, this is where we're going to look. And what I wanted to see was, do we respect this? So we didn't, right? We ended up trading below it. And then from there, what do? Then we definitely showed our sign of strength. Well, this was the manipulation, right? This is the open of the market. And what I wanted to see now was, okay, so in this entire leg of order flow, this is it, right? This is our entire leg. So we've already invalidated the SC, right? Or essentially the slingshot that caused it. So we have to come back to the last unmitigated area. And this is the last unmitigated area. This is the 80% of it. And wouldn't you know, that's where the flipping A it tapped off of. So what we, I was just looking to play the accumulation, right? So the accumulation, I mean, print it out, laminate it, throw it on the refrigerator, tell mom to put a happy face sticker or a star sticker on it, bro, because that's what you get. You know what I mean? And just we know that that's the sell and that's the buy of the spring. We break 80%, bye-bye, she went, and I mean, realistically, as soon as we break this, you could see there's a micro. I mean, if I wasn't on the Zoom call, I probably would have caught the 1 second. All right. So everybody could see the type 1, right? 1, 2, 3, spring. So yeah. So as soon as we did that, that's it. I mean, there's no reason for price to go below here. Alrighty. So you kind of saw how we traded it live, and now kind of like what I wanted to break down was just how I managed it. And really, I never got the opportunity to work in an entry into into NASDAQ, just because I was really focused on US30 and in SPX. So you've got the entry that actually I could delete this one here. You got the entry in here out of the type 1 accumulation, and realistically, how I managed it was, once we broke this high up here, right around like the 31,366 area, that was like the very first partial out area that I was looking to take. And once we do break that, I talked about in that video how I wanted to come back into the slingshot that breaks it or into the extreme. And really at this point where price action's at, there's just absolutely nothing for me to do right now. We do see at this point, price does give us a accumulation, right? We do have an accumulation, and I'd venture to say that's in a very a very nice area. My only problem though is I played the accumulation, and now I've got to play a reaccumulation. And until we do this, right, we've got our creek. Until we break that high, there's nothing for me to play. So ideally at this point, what I'd be looking to do was come up here, break this high, make this the reason of that break, and then I come back and play the mitigation of it to take it higher. So that was the thought process, right? That's what I wanted to see, ultimately happen. All right, and there we break, right? So nothing really changes by that. From a market cycle perspective, what do we have? We have a confirmed accumulation. And the only I guess issue I have at this point is I really don't have a definitive area that I can set just a limit order off of, right? The accumulation apparently, gets mitigated here. We have a reaccumulation here. For me, price can come into that, price can come into that. So it's a matter of just playing price action from here. Again, overall, what's my target? My target is Asian liquidity, right? It's the Asian high. That's my target. So, at this point, I've got both US30 and SPX on the the monitors, and I'm just looking for that entry. Price does come back in, right? Price does come back in, and she actually does give an accumulation. There we go. So she does give an accumulation, right? And I really wasn't interested in playing that schematic there yet, just because we do trade below here. So at this point, I'm actually looking for us to come into that, and we just don't get it. So it was a lot of just waiting around and waiting for price to really just give me what I wanted to see. Now, I wasn't too bent out, too upset about not getting into an entry here, because at the same point, I did get into an SPX, right? And I'll show you that on the chart real quick. But here we come in. I was looking for price to come into the 80, pretty much mitigating that move. It just missed. I did have an order on the 80, just missed me. We made a new high. So now what am I looking at? I'm looking for us to come back into this. And at this point, what do? We end up hitting my target. So this is where I ended up pretty much just saying that this happens right at 3:01 my time, coming into power hour. This is where I said that I'm personally going to be securing, some significant profits. And you could see that entry right there sitting at a 1-41. So, it was a pretty easy play this morning. Total time in the trade wasn't that long actually. We are talking 5 hours and 5 minutes for a total of 527 points. And if I remember correctly, I think it was like a 13 or 14 point stop loss, 12.7. So, it was a 13-point stop loss. So it was actually, it was a nice little easy bag on a Thursday. Imagine that, right? On a Thursday. And, I really wasn't interested in seeing anything after that. I'm still holding my position. What do? We came right back into the area I was looking for us. We accumulated at the end of the day, and now we're kind of just trading, through Asian sessions. So, it is what it is. I'm going to hold what I have until I get into the sell area that I do want to get into. But other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Now moving over to SPX, where I did catch a couple other moves on SPX. Bear with it here. Trading. I don't know if trading view has been laggy for you guys, but oh boy, has it been lagging for me. All right. So, what do we end up getting, right? Price does give a very, very clean accumulation, right? Very clean accumulation in this. Let's go. Let's just do this. We'll come over to replay mode. And we'll go 5 second. All right. So this was, I don't know why this is here, but there we go. This is the entry most everybody caught, right? Pretty clean accumulation in the 80% of the previous move. And for me, what I talked about, live, what I wanted to really see was just the new high. So as soon as we break that new high, which happens pretty quickly, right? There we go. So once we break this high right here, there we go. So as soon as we break that high, now it's just a matter of having price come back in, right? So I know that we have to come back and mitigate this move right here. And that's kind of what I wanted to wait on, right? I wanted to see price walk itself back down, mitigate properly. The buys for me were going to be quick little scalps. I just wanted to see price give me evidence of buyers coming into the market. So for me, this was my evidence, right? We do come back. All right, there we go. So you can see we do come back, right, into the discounted area that I wanted, right? If I measure out the entire move, we're sitting right at 80%. And what do we get at that 80%? We get a type 1 schematic, right? So as soon as we break and confirm, which currently right now, we've just confirmed the type 1, you could see at this point, what I'm looking to do is take an entry, all right? I did have a split entry on it. The 50% was just under 5 points. And the one off the 80 was just under 2.4 points. So again, pretty easy setup. Now I just need price to come back in and tag me in, right? So it was just a waiting game. Let price come in. I know we're on a 5-second chart, right? But and as soon as it tags me in, I'm going to show you here. There we go. All right. So tags me in. And let's just look at this, right? So how long did this accumulation take to form? It took 15 minutes,
right? We're on a 5-second chart, but still took 15 minutes. From the time it confirmed the break, so confirms the break right here, to the time it gets me entered, 12 minutes, 5 seconds. So total time in this entire 5-second accumulation was almost 30 minutes of time, right? Plenty of time to really get into it. And then from here, this was, at this point right here, I went reduce risk, right? As soon as we get that move, I'm reduce risk. I've deleted my 80% entry because I don't expect price to come back into it. And I'm just holding what I have, right? Holding what I have. And again, what's my targets, right? My targets are Asian liquidity, right? I want to get price to get up into this Asian high. That's overall where I'm going to take these 2 trades. Okay. So holding these 2 entries, it's a matter of now just price making a new high for me to get into another stacked position, right? So this is why I reduce my risk and not go break even. And I'm sure some of you guys did catch something out of here. I'm sure, when we broke here, you probably just set this up, took it out of the 80. I personally didn't. I was just waiting. I was waiting for this new high right here. So as soon as this happens, now I could take an entry back out of here, right? Because that's the reaccumulation that caused the break. And you'll see, right? You'll see. And at this point here, this is where I did take some profits. All right. Currently where price is sitting at, this was a 1 to 10 and a 1 to 47 from the first entry. Okay. So I did take profits, paid myself a little bit, and now it's just waiting for price to come on back down. Right. So price comes back down, and now it's just a matter of, do I have a schematic? Right. And you can see 5-second. What do we have? Right. We have a very, very clean schematic. We have evidence of buyers coming into this market. Okay. And there we go. There's our manipulation. So at this point, all I need to do is wait for price to break this high, right? If price breaks that high out of this accumulation, now what am I looking to do, right? Because we've just redistributed, right? We redistributed. There was no entry for me here because we never got a manipulation, right? This was our manipulation. So now as we break this, I know that this accumulation and potentially this reaccumulation are now what I'm looking to get into. All right. My only issue with anything going on right now is just the time. I don't typically trade afternoon session, especially on equities, right? Coming into power hour. So, bouncing out to where we are currently, just look at what we've done, right? We have, and maybe this bigger picture kind of sets it up for you. We have our manipulation. I know that this is where the sell happened. I know this is where the buy happened. And I know that we just broke. So for me, 80% here is where I'm looking all day long, right? Measuring this move, 80% is where my limit order is. And again, another 4.6 point stop loss. So you'll see price comes in and immediately we get the evidence of buyers coming in because we don't hang out one bit, right? Again, what's my target? My target is taking up to this high. Now, it gives me that close to the 1 to 10 that I want for me to be able to take this trade. And then we just take off from there, right? You can see we end up at the end of power hour, right? At the end of power hour, we end up taking out Asian highs. Okay. So right at this point here, this is 302, same time where US30 broke Asian highs. I went ahead and just secured my profits, right? Ended up closing a large percentage of volume out of all 3 orders. And in total, this was a 1 to 10, a 1 to 10, and a 1 to 47 on just SPX. And, same thing like US30, right? I was looking for us to come back into this. We do that very nicely at the end of the day, of course, so no trade for me. And, what am I expecting? I'm expecting us to continue coming higher into potentially yesterday's New York session price action. That's what that alert is sitting up here for. But all in all, it was again, 5.5 hours worth of trade. Gave me, a 1 to 47, a 1 to 10, a 1 to 10, and over on US30 side gave me that really, really nice entry as soon as it shows up here.
Yeah, here it is right here for that 1 to 41. So, minimal risk. I didn't throw a lot at it. It's counter trend. I'm still holding the sells, but just to kind of give you an idea of how we worked it this morning, how we saw the live market, and then, how I managed it. So hopefully it gives you guys, again, the insight into it. And if there's, anything you take from it, I'm definitely appreciative of it. So I'll catch you on the next video. If you definitely like the video, give it a like. Throw some comments down if you have any major questions. If not, hit me up in the Discord, and have a great one.